Are you sick of dying all the time and making these horrible plays like this? No, Jason, please. Or this, and this. I'm sure you know by now. That doesn't work! So in today's video, I'm going to give you guys one tip for each survivor so you can do so much better than before. My name's Paxi, and here are each tips for each survivors. Tip 1 for Noob. Noob is a beginner survivor that is not too seen as a good character, but when you play the game, you know how that generators are super important. Getting all of them can lead you to 3 minutes down to 1 minute and 30 seconds, and that time goes quick, making your team win. Your role is actually pretty important. Finishing the generators, making it harder for the killers to get anyone on time. So the tip I would give for you for playing Noob is to try to waste time as much as possible. Try not to worry about everyone and try get all the generators. Once that, try to be a big complete bait. Tip 2 for Elliot.
No, get away from me. My name's Gabby. Get away from me.
Elliot is an interesting one and the most helpful survivor ever, but people actually don't know how to use rush hour properly. So I'll be explaining 2 ways to use rush hour. So how do you actually use rush hour properly and when do you use it? Well, there are 2 different ways. One, when the killer's about to catch up to you, you use rush hour. That'll give you advantage and enough stamina to recover. This should give you a big lead too. You can also use rush hour when you're falling from high places. The correct way to use it is when you touch the floor. If you use it while you're still on top, you might use those 2 seconds for falling and slow effect when you land. So when you hit the ground, use rush hour, giving you more time with rush hour. Tip number 3, Shaletsky. Look, I get it. You want to be a really good Shaletsky player that hits every shot. But there is one little problem that Shaletsky players don't even know. If you're trying to hit amazing shots, you have to identify smart killer and dumb killer. Alright, let's put us to a scenario. Before we actually hit the killer, we need to bait him out. So just run up to him and see if he moves. If he reacts, then you know the smart killer. Now you know he's smart, you actually don't want to go for the hit. You wait it out until they use their abilities. Then you punish them. This becomes a really patient game and you need to be aware that if you want to help out, you have to understand the killer's patterns. Now here's another scenario. This 1x is not dodging chances bullets or nor trying to react to it. So you now know he's a dumb killer, as you see in this clip. And because you know, here's another clip of me getting another hit. Tip number 4. 2 times.
Yes, Twotime. This is really
2 time in my opinion is the most fun to play with, and being the killer is the most annoying. So the goal for 2 time is mostly backstabs, but how do you constantly do that? Well, by hitting your shots. To become a good 2 time, you actually gotta hit your daggers, and if you don't, then you need to start practicing. So if you're wondering why you're a bad 2 time player, it's because you're missing basic shots. So the more you hit basic shots, the more you can do more fancy things. So for this tip, learn to hit your basic stabs, please. 5th tip, guess. There are many tricks for guess to make the killer fall into your blocks, but what tip will it be for guess? Now again, this tip is kinda like Shaletsky, but even better, and I even have to remind myself. So, what's the tip? The tip for guess is learning how to double punch properly, because when you do it, you get a little confused and it makes a little bit no sense. So, I'm going to break it down for you. Keep this in mind, blocking will always give you a punch. To do this the correct way, make sure you block and after blocking, really quickly use the punch. What's going to happen is that after using the punch as quickly as possible, your punch bar should go away, and when the killer hits the block first, your punch should come back and you should still have it. When you do have punch, it's really weird. You can block and punch at the same time. So if you ever miss your block, just try hit him. 6th tip, 7 and 7.
Goo goo gaga. I'm a baby.
He is legit just the same thing as Noob, but he can be really useful when he has a clone. When I was playing 7 and 7, I actually realized something. You can actually use the clones to get rid of John Doe's traps. So the tip for 7 and 7 is use the clones to get rid of John Doe's traps. 7th tip, Builder Man.
Engineer gaming.
Being the backbone for Engineer is actually quite fun to play. Placing turrets, healing your teammates very slowly. Now, all your machinery will die because of the killer, because you're distracting them enough so that the survivors can get away. So the tip for Builder Man is map rotation. Playing Builder Man, you do not want to be chased at all. Here's a trick to play as Builder Man. After placing everything, you actually want to rotate around the map. This is where everyone's going to start running away from the killer, and then they need heals. Trust me, this works a lot, making your teammate live longer. So don't stand around your buildings while the killer's trying to destroy them or chase others, while you could be doing gens and rotating around the map, support heals all the way to the back. Tip number 8, Duskar. It honestly feels good to play Duskar, shielding people and slowing down the killer. One problem is that the moment the killer lays eyes on you, you better start running. The only tip I can give for Duskar is to make sure you play height. Height allows you to see better and shield people very far away. And I meant very far away. But one problem, if you're playing against a John Doe, do not play height. He's just gonna place traps and block you off. So just be aware about that. Tip number 9, Raph.
Chicken.
Raph is actually one of my favorite survivors to play as. And he's pretty chill. Staying back, placing tripwires, slowing down enemies where they usually go. So what's the tip for Raph? Because he seems pretty basic. The tip for Raph would be tripwire where killers would chase the survivors. Put yourself in their shoes and think, if I was being chased, where would I go? Have a mindset of knowing where survivors would run or where killers would be. This takes practice, so learn your maps and where people like to run. Last tip, chance.
Let's go gambling! Let's go gambling! Gambling! Is that all you ever do?
Chance is the definition of gambling. And when I mean gambling, I mean gamble your life away. So what's the tip for Chance? Because there's really no tip for him. Actually, you're wrong. There is one tip that all chances should know. Never shoot in front. And here's some examples why. You instead should shoot in the far distance, using your range as an advantage. You can even surprise them around corners, because you don't want to be predictable. You can also punish killers for using abilities that make them stand still. You have a 1-second delay before you shoot, so never shoot in front, making the killer have enough time to react. Because don't forget, it's chance. Your gun might not work, or it just blows up in your face. So if you play afar, you can get away to safety if your gun backfires. Well, that's all for the tips for today. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I am hosting a Forsaken tournament, so come join that. There's gonna be Discord link in the description and the comment section. People can't find the description. So yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all guys next time. Peace out.